Hello everyone, Ace here, and today let's talk about another excuse that is made quite often to defend the Odyssey, that being the screen time for many of the questionable casting choices for the film. The argument is that because these different actresses had a limited screen time, that their performances and questionable casting is perfectly ignorable and excusable, and it doesn't taint the overall experience. And you, the viewer, should just shut up and enjoy the slop. Now, while I could refute this argument by pointing out the importance of these characters in the original story, there is another way to also counter this argument, and that is to talk about filmmaking, since people want to defend it using arguments that apply more to filmmaking. You know, what with the whole, but my limited screen time argument. Well, if it's the case that a limited screen time has a negligible impact either way on a film, then surely that must also be true when it comes to a positive impact as opposed to a negative one. Surely there can't be any examples I can provide of an actor having limited screen time and yet doing a performance so fantastically well that he became immortalized as a key part of the film, despite the minor role he had in terms of screen time. Oh wait, I can do exactly that. Case in point, Gary Cooper in Wings from 1927. A legendary film and a legendary actor. But this is a unique case because Gary Cooper only had about 2.5 minutes of screen time within the film. And it's also, of course, of note that the character that he played was a fairly minor character that wasn't actually that major to the overall plot of the film. He played the role of a pilot in training who ends up getting killed in a training accident. The thing is, Gary Cooper was able to deliver such a spectacular performance with what little screen time that he had, that not only was this the movie that basically launched his career, but later movie posters advertising the film specifically included his name as fourth billing right behind the three main leads, and it's specifically just because how well he resonated with the audience. Despite that limited screen time, his performance became a key part of the film, even though from a plot perspective he was a minor character. And also keep in mind, Wings was not some minor film either. It actually ended up getting the first Oscar for Best Picture in filmmaking history. All of this is to say that even a character with an extremely limited screen time can have a massive impact on a film. And it can also have a massive impact on the film industry. So to sit there and claim that because certain characters had a limited screen time that they're therefore inconsequential to the end product and therefore can be ignored is not only patently false, but flies in the face of the film industry going as far back as the silent era. A movie can be made great in a mere few minutes, but it can also be made bad in a mere few minutes. In fact, in some cases, it can take only a few seconds. Remember Me was destroyed by the very end of that film, and that was only about 5 seconds, to show one of the worst plot twists in film history. Don't for a second think that a limited screen time means something is perfectly acceptable.